Most economies, particularly those of developing countries like Nigeria, march on the shoulders of micro, small, and medium-sized businesses. This is because MSMEs are characterized by dynamism, innovation, and efficiency. According to a nationwide survey carried out by the National Bureau of Statistics in partnership with the Small Medium Enterprise Development Agency in Nigeria in 2017, Nigeria has over 40 million registered MSMEs in the country. MSMEs are critical to Nigeria's economy as it contributes over 50% of the nation's GDP and is responsible for the employment of over 70% of the population. As the globe marks the 2021 edition of the World MSME Day with the theme MSMEs, Key to an Inclusive and Sustainable Recovery, WebTV engaged experts and entrepreneurs on developments in the ecosystem. They shared their perspectives on why MSMEs are critical to the sustainable recovery of the Nigerian economy and what can be done by the government to improve the ease of doing business.
We can't overemphasize the fact that MSMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises, world over are the engine room of economies of different countries, and more so for our own country here, Nigeria. For example, if you look at the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics Maiden survey report for small businesses in Nigeria, 2017 report, you will see that according to that report, MSMEs were responsible for 86.3% of the total workforce in Nigeria. That's huge. Imagine that sector creating that volume of employment. If they are not that important, what's going to happen to that volume of employment created? Another indicator you can look is their contribution to the GDP, responsible for almost 50% of GDP. That's huge. So it shows how critical they are to this economy.
MSMEs are important for development of a nation, particularly Nigeria, a sector that contributes over 70% of employment, as well as close to half of the national income. Is not a sector you can overlook or underplay. And when you consider that a situation where you want to have prosperity shared by all and being inclusive, then MSMEs are very important.
The government has done a lot in terms of ease of doing business. So if you look at the World Bank Ease of Doing Business 2020, I think Nigeria ranked about 131 out of 190 countries compared to 146 or so in 2019. So we have moved 15 places, and that's because of the effort that the government has made. One particular one is business registration and payment of tax online. Because that was enabled by the government, a lot happened in terms of being able to move 15 places upwards. However, there is still a lot that the government needs to do. So, say for instance, in the area of even in the tax payment that they have done, there are still complaints, huge complaints. Platforms are down and so on. So there needs to be an investment in infrastructure, and infrastructure does not have to be very physical infrastructure. Here I'm referring to bandwidth, okay, where we as a country are able to digitalize a lot of things. So if you can digitalize tax paying and it has made an improvement in the lives of MSMEs, you can imagine how many other things you can digitalize. So if you digitalize many of the collection processes or systems of government, pari passu the existing physical collections, you would find that more SMEs are able to pay their taxes, more SMEs are able to register their businesses online and so on. I think that's critical that the government does that, to be able to improve the lives of, MSMEs in Nigeria.
Yes, the government can do a lot more with the heat of doing business, but it's also important to recognize that they're doing quite a lot already by introducing more friendly policies for MSMEs. And noteworthy also is the recent launch of the subnational report on the ease of doing business, with the indicators that are highlighted as well. But what I would personally like to see is, some greater alignment with the Ministry of Information and Culture. It's important to be able to match behavior with the vision that we have. We need to be able to promote enterprise values and enterprise spirit and the kind of behavior that would actualize our goals.
If you look at the ease of doing business reports, it has not been very favorable to Nigeria. And of course, that would also affect the MSMEs. They are the bulk of, they were responsible for 95% of firms registered, according to that same report I referred to, the NBS report. So if we have that volume and huge number of businesses and they are grappling with difficulties in doing business, that means we have to pay attention and see how they can, be better. And if you look at from that ease of doing business report and even from survey reports on some of the key challenges that MSMEs have, I think we should start tackling it from the basis. Someone usually will say, one of my friends, that if we solve the problem of power in Nigeria, don't do any other thing if you come into government, just solve the problem of power. And I think that's a key infrastructure problem that we have here. Okay, so imagine if a lot of businesses have to run on spending a lot of money on power, it will affect their cost of production. With the rate of high inflation now, so you can't even pass this increased cost of production to what people are willing to buy. More so, the disposable income is also challenged. So, this is a big problem. Okay, so if we can address infrastructural problem in Nigeria, even if it is only power, yes, the road is there, but let's even start with power. It will greatly help MSMEs in Nigeria.
The experts also provided insights on how MSMEs take advantage of new trends to attain sustainable growth and how their respective firms have been involved in the MSME space to enhance the development of other MSMEs.
Technology is important, and I think by new trends, we're looking at new ways of doing business, leveraging on technology and so on. Number one, MSMEs need to digitalize their business. The fact that you have been in business for 5, 10, 20 years does not give you mastery over the needs of your customers. This is the thinking that MSMEs must have. They must think of going beyond their local market. So take, for instance, internet penetration in the world has grown by 1,200%, which means that your local market is no longer Allen Avenue, is no longer Lekki Ekpe Express and so on. Your local market has gone beyond that to a wider world, to a bigger world. Therefore, you've got to digitalize your business. You've got to put your products and services online. You've got to communicate with your customers online. You've got to think about customer loyalty. And if you're thinking of customer loyalty, then you have to think about data. You have to invest in technology. And this will just be simple technologies where you are able to track the pattern of your customers. When do they come for your goods and services? But what we see most of the time is MSMEs are always interested in new customers, but not holding the existing customers. Customer loyalty will help you hold the existing customer. So that is critical. They need to digitalize their businesses, and then they need to also leverage on existing structures and partnership.
Entrepreneurs can take advantage of the new trends by being open to learning and collaboration. Learning because there are new things in the areas of digital marketing, social media marketing, freelance work, managing remote work, performance outside of the usual workplace. And it's important that entrepreneurs can take advantage of learning that would ensure that they are actually improving, and also just dedicating the time that is required by their business for strategy and thinking of how best to take advantage of new opportunities as well. Collaboration, because just as the COVID has shown, we now would be competing for not so much available cash, and but it's important to be able to ask the question, who else can I work with, so that we can have synergetic value and engage the customer better, but also about knowing that collaborations help also with sharing risk. So and that's very important as well.
You see, the world of technology is here, and it's the way to go. It's the way forward. And this is where enlightenment, enlightening the MSMEs, even the MSMEs opening our minds to technology and embracing it. So sometimes when I hear some people say, I am not online, I'll just be wondering, how can you be a business and you're not online? I'm not saying that if you're not online, you can't sell, but that's technology, that's the way. That's where the people are. That's where you can have a far and wide reach of your target market. So some of specifics in simple terms that MSMEs can leverage on. You can look at online marketing. Social media is a way to leverage it. So people can start looking at that. Even in the different systems and structures in business, there are softwares, there are tools. You can even reduce cost of labor by leveraging on some of this. Even accounting tools, there are a lot of DIY tools now that you can have maybe an admin person for, depending on what stage your business is. If you can have a full-fledged team, technology will even help them to be more efficient.
TPC, we are a management consulting firm, and what we do basically is offer strategy and business advisory services. We have been supporting SMEs, and one particularly by having a dedicated platform for them, where we're able to help with competence development, as well as business advisory. Another opportunity we offer as MSMEs is ensuring that they can have a voice and participate in issues that matter to them at the national level, but also at the global level through our Sustainable Conversations platform. And I would like to encourage entrepreneurs to join the July edition and the one that comes after that as well. Something to note also is the work we do in the sustainability space, working with big businesses, but indeed all businesses, so that we help them promote, help them live up to their social responsibilities, involving their value chains, making sure they have good representation of MSMEs as well, but also very important, ensuring that they also engage in fair practices as well.
FCMB has done quite a lot in the MSME space and will still be doing more. So one of the things we've done is that we have focused efforts on certain sectors of the economy where you may want to consider it to be emerging, where quite a number of new players are coming in, where markets are shifting to, and so on. Take, for instance, the Women in Business, what we call She Ventures, which is a proposition to women-owned businesses. So we understand some of the issues in that space. Therefore, the bank has set up a desk, which, like I mentioned, we call She Ventures, to address women needs. So some of these needs are lack of information or knowledge about their businesses. Some of these women trade, but they mix their trading funds with their household funds and so on. So, when it's even time to assess the business for a loan, you can't do that because there are no records and so on. Some of them would need to borrow or leverage, but cannot do that because they do not have the adequate security to be able to borrow. I mean, most married women will tell you that the property title is in the name of the husband and so on. So a lot of women are disadvantaged. So what we have done is to start with a zero interest loan, to say, look, come and take a loan if you need a loan for your business. So let's assess this business, we'll give you a loan for your business. You pay back that loan at zero interest, okay, just to get you going, and that has helped quite a number of women.
I can say that we are one of the MSMEs advocates, right? I call myself a MSME advocate also. I'm not saying that we should remain small forever, because sometimes I laugh at that MSME advocate. I'm not saying we should remain small forever, but I'm saying that at that stage of growth, someone needs to be there rooting for these MSMEs. And, if we do it and we help them to move from micro to small, from small to medium, from medium to large, and you will see the growth, okay? Because it's just like a baby. When you give birth, it's a stage of growth, isn't it? The baby starts crawling, you stand, from standing, the baby will start walking, after walking, start running. So there are stages of growth, and you have to nourish the baby at the different stages of growth. And that's where we come in as a business development service provider. So we provide support for them for growth in the areas of access to funding, access to sales and marketing, access to markets. We help them with operational efficiency. So we're like an advisory firm that provides handholding, support for them. We are a partner to a lot of funding partner firms like Bank of Industry. We work with the Lagos State Employment Trust Fund. We worked with the Growth Employment Project, which was funded by the World Bank. And a lot of FSMEs even access grants for up to $50,000. And these are some of the ways we come in, to support MSMEs.
Entrepreneurs also speak on challenges in the business environment, how government can support post-COVID-19, and what is required to advance.
Business has so dull as we have never seen such before. There's no sales at all. In a week, we don't sell 1 yard. In a month, we cannot see this is what we sold. There is no money to pay sales girl, no money to run the shop. So we have goods, nobody is buying.
We're managing, but I don't know what to. But everything is not going as you expect. So that's the issue there. We need money. We need money, and we are short. Everything is just they're not okay. Everybody is very annoyed. So we need help. We don't need help for government and that.
We want government because if people are happy, if they have money, if they have work, they will buy things that they want to buy. It's not that they doesn't want to buy. There's no money, no job, nothing. And with that, what we are selling, there's no money to buy. So we are facing a lot of challenges, which is not very bad for us. If we cannot pay for the guests that are working with us, so how will they live? So there's no way they can live. We want the government to just come to poor people said, so to see to what we are facing.
The future of MSME growth in Nigeria lies in the intervention and financing programs that give top priority to the nano and micro enterprises who contribute over 80% of the value chain. It is therefore important for government, deposit money banks, microfinance banks, NGOs, and other well-meaning individuals to support them as they have the potential to lift millions of Nigerians from poverty.
Happy World MSME Day.
For the entrepreneurs out there and their teams, I say happy MSME Day and just stay the course.
UN MSME Day celebration is here again, and the theme for this year is MSME, key to an inclusive and sustainable recovery. So, happy World MSME Day. Let's have fun and continue to strive to grow.
Happy International MSME Day.